All right, if you're getting close to your due date, I bet there's one question that's just running on a loop in your head. Am I in labor? It is a moment filled with so much excitement and, let's be honest, a lot of mystery. So today, we're going to decode those first signals from your body so you can feel way more confident and ready for the big day. Right? Every single little twinge, every cramp, it all comes back to this one question. It's this wild mix of excitement, a little bit of nervousness, and just pure uncertainty. And you are definitely not alone in feeling this way. It's pretty much a universal part of the journey. So how do you tell the difference between just a drill and the real thing? Okay, first things first, let's tackle the number one cause of confusion, Braxton Hicks contractions. You can think of these as your uterus just, practicing for the main event. But they feel very different from true labor contractions. And knowing how to spot those differences, well, that's the key. Let's break this down. So, Braxton Hicks over on the left, think of them as unpredictable warm-ups. They usually feel like a tightening that's just in one spot, like the front of your belly. The most important thing is they don't have a pattern, they don't get worse, and simple things like getting up and walking around or drinking a big glass of water can make them go away. In fact, dehydration is a super common trigger. Now, true labor, on the other hand, it's all about that relentless pattern. These contractions often start in your back and wrap all the way around to the front. They become longer, stronger, and closer together over time. They have a job to do. So, we've talked about the false alarms. Now let's get into the good stuff, the definitive signs that, yep, labor has actually started. These are the signals you'll want to start paying close attention to. You can really see how labor kicks it up a notch here. During early labor, those contractions are often pretty manageable. They're milder, they're spaced out, and you can still walk and talk through them. But that switch into active labor, that's all about intensity. They get closer together, they last longer, and they demand all of your focus. That last point is such a classic sign. When you have to stop talking to breathe through a contraction, you are almost certainly in active labor. Okay, another sign you might notice is something called the bloody show. Now, I know it sounds a little dramatic, but it's totally normal. It's just a sign that the mucus plug that's been sealing your cervix this whole pregnancy is coming loose because your cervix is starting to soften and open up. This can happen hours or even a few days before labor really gets going, but it's a fantastic sign that things are moving in the right direction. Another one of the big confusing moments. I mean, let's face it, by the end of pregnancy, you're used to all sorts of weird feelings and discharges. So when there's a sudden wetness, it is totally natural to wonder what on earth is going on down there. The key thing here is the texture. Normal discharge can be kind of thick and mucousy, but when your water breaks, that's the amniotic sac rupturing, the fluid is usually clear and watery, just like water. It could be a big gush like you see in the movies, or it might just be a slow, steady trickle that you can't stop. If you think for a second your water has broken, it is always time to call your doctor or midwife. Okay, so the signs are all pointing to yes, and you figured out you're in early labor. The biggest mistake so many people make is rushing straight to the hospital. But early labor can last for hours, sometimes even days, especially if this is your first time. So the best approach? Think of it as a marathon. Seriously, remember this. Your body is getting ready to do some of the hardest work it will ever do. During this early phase, your goal is super simple. Rest, relax, and fuel up. Every ounce of energy you save now is going to be a huge help later on. And there's actually real evidence to back this up. Staying home where you're comfortable helps you stay relaxed, and that can help labor progress more smoothly. In fact, studies show that showing up at the hospital later in labor is linked with fewer interventions, like drugs to speed things up, and even a lower chance of a C-section. So what does thriving in early labor even look like? Well, it looks a lot like this. A warm bath can do absolute wonders. Distractions are your new best friend. Put on a funny movie or play a game. Keep your energy up with light snacks. And drink plenty of fluids. This is your time to just create a calm, positive space for yourself. And beyond just being comfortable, movement is a powerful tool. Seriously, staying active is your friend. Gravity helps the baby move down and put pressure on the cervix, which encourages it to open. Simple stuff like walking around, rocking your hips, or sitting on an exercise ball can make a huge difference, both in how you feel and in helping labor move along. All right, you've managed early labor at home like a total pro, but now things are definitely getting more intense. That big question comes roaring back. Is it time to go? Let's talk about the specific guidelines that can help you make that call. This is the famous 5-1-1 rule. And it's the standard guideline for a very good reason. It's a really clear signal that you've officially moved into active labor. So when your contractions are coming every 5 minutes, lasting for one full minute, and that pattern has been going on for at least 1 hour, that's your green light. So when you hit that 511 milestone, the very first step is to pick up the phone and call your provider. They'll listen to what's going on and give you specific advice on exactly when you should head on in. And this is so, so important. Rules and guidelines are fantastic, but they do not replace your own intuition. You know your body better than anyone else. If your gut is telling you something's up, or you just need some reassurance, please never ever hesitate to call. That's what they're there for. Now, of course, there are some situations that are just not up for debate. These are the signs that mean you need to call your provider immediately, no matter what your contractions are doing. Any significant bleeding, a change in your baby's movement, or your water breaking, especially if it's not clear, are all reasons to get in touch right away. Same goes for any of these other big warning signs listed here. Safety first, always. At the end of the day, no one can predict exactly how their labor is going to unfold. Every single birth story is completely unique, but having knowledge and being prepared, those are your greatest superpowers. Understanding these signs lets you work with your body instead of feeling like you're just along for a confusing ride. By knowing what to look for, from those first little, is this it moments, to the clear signs that it's go time, you can walk into this incredible experience with so much more calm and confidence. You really have got this.